Welcome to the Vitality Lounge, a place where the uncomfortable questions become comfortable, where conversations, topics, and expert guests unlock the keys to vitality, empowering you to embrace the vibrant life you deserve. Now here's your host, Micol.
Hello, everyone. Hey, Susan. Welcome to the Vitality Lounge.
Micol. I am full of vitality this morning. I worked out. I took a shower. I went for a swim in the ocean this morning.
Amazing.
It was incredible. So
That's great.
I have to stay after my vitality. I do a lot to support my energy. I feel like mitochondrial energy, having the energy to do everything I want, is one of the biggest focuses of my life in my 60s.
And that's why you're here today, Susan, because we are all about vitality, how to keep young and fresh, because age is just a number.
Yeah.
And you are living proof of that. So I'm so excited to have you. You're such a special guest, and I can't wait to dive into our conversation. So as part of what we do here at the Vitality Lounge, we always ask our guests, what does vitality mean to them? So what does it mean to you?
To me, it means being able to get up in the morning, feel a lot of energy, be able to look forward to my day, have high cognitive function, have good nutrition, to exercise 3 to 5 times a week, to have energy, mitochondrial function, and accomplish a great amount. At the end of the day, still have plenty of energy to cook dinner and to do some things in the evening, whatever they might be. Anything from going to a movie or going for a walk on the beach or watching a show, just not collapsing.
Yeah, I love it. Or having fun with your husband.
Exactly.
So I love that. And I think you mentioned it's an all-encompassing thing, right? Vitality is not just energy to work out. It's everything. It's a 360, and it touches so many different aspects of life. Yes. But today, what I really want to touch upon with you is a little bit more of that spicy aspect of life, which we can call both sexual wellness and pleasure. So Susan, before we dive into all of that, tell me a bit more, or tell our guests a little bit more about yourself.
Sure.
Who you are, what you're known for, and then we go deep into it.
Sure, I'd be happy to. For 2 decades, I have been the intimacy expert. And for a decade, I've been the intimacy expert to millions. That's my title. I love my title. I'm the CEO of 2 companies, Personal Life Media, which owns the Better Lover brand, Steamy Sex Ed video collection, and publishes heart-connected, conscious, passionate love-making techniques, bedroom communication skills, and intimate wellness therapies, treatments, etc. Basically, how to extend your sex span to extend your health span. Because when you extend your sex span, when you keep having great sex, intimacy, pleasure, orgasm, you extend your lifespan. Not only do you extend your lifespan and your health span, you live a longer, healthier, happier life. Mm-hmm. So I write passionate lovemaking techniques. I teach oral pleasuring, manual pleasuring, intercourse, kissing, yoni and linga massage, full body touch, male multiple orgasm, seduction techniques. I have published 44 books and programs, 10 of which are the work of my mentors, because I carry some lineages forward. And then I have written 34 books and programs of my own.
Love that.
It was funny because I was just talking to my trainer. My trainer and I, we run the beach stairs. Okay. I live in San Diego at the Pacific Ocean, and he comes to my house 3 to 5 days a week, and we do an hour-and-a-half workout.
Nice.
And he and I often run the beach stairs, and they're called stone steps, and they're very steep, and we go down them, up and down them 2 times. Today we did up and down 2 times, and then we went backward 2 times. I went up them backward 2 times.
That's
and
intense.
Then we did double steps.
Yeah.
as well. And then today was upper body, so a lot of like shoulders, chest press, etc.
How many steps are there, Susan? Because that seems like a lot of steps.
80?
Wow.
Yeah. Every year I do the Empire State Building
Oh, I know
in a
that.
single, but I have to go up and down, up and down, up and
Yes.
down, up and down, up and down to get to the 800 steps. So I have to do it 10 times.
Wow.
But I really like to do that every year as kind of one of my little things I check off to keep myself young and full of vitality. So it's one of those kind of little hallmarks that I do.
Yeah.
And I also own a sexual vitality supplement company because if you're thinking about sexual function, you have to deal with erectile dysfunction, loss of sensation, difficulty achieving orgasm, prostate issues. With women, and then you both incontinence issues, nighttime peeing, all of those kinds of things. As well for women, loss of lubrication, vaginal lubrication, vaginal laxity, labial laxity, and clitoral atrophy. And so I help people understand sexual regenerative therapies and sexual biohacking. But nitric oxide is a big part of the solution to regaining lost function from aging.
Yeah.
And most nitric oxide supplements, 99% of the nitric oxide supplements out there are made from garbagey, pesticide-laden chemicals that come from China.
Like
And
a lot of supplements in general out there, you have to be very careful with what you take. It's like, oh, I'm taking all these great supplements. Well, are you really taking good supplements? Are they really benefiting you or not?
Yeah. And I don't like to worry about pesticide-laden corn syrup generated supplementation. And that is a very common way to make nitric oxide. The arginine can be converted into citrulline, but all the pesticides that came from that corn liquor that they start with are in the final products. So I make a natural nitric oxide supplement that's made from citrulline from organic watermelon, that has organic spinach powder, which has nitrates that convert to nitrites that convert to nitric oxide in your body, in your salivary system, and has pine bark for pyrocyanidins that help with blood flow, vascular flexibility, and has cherries in them, bitter cherries. The vitamin C really helps with absorption. So
and these are all natural products, very clean.
From food and pine bark derived. Supplementation. And I think that's really important because once you can get someone on a nitric oxide supplement, you can help them start getting off of PDE5 inhibitors. So whether it's Viagra, Levitra, Cialis, et cetera, PDE5 inhibitors are a crutch. And I like to get to the functional root of the problem. And it's often...
No Band-Aid solutions. We're not for that. We all want the root cause and the root treatment. If not, what are we doing again?
Exactly. And so I like to get guys to the point where they're using vacuum erection devices, GAINSWave, et cetera. So I know we'll get into that a little bit more, the biohacking and sexual regenerative stacks, but I make supplements. And I make another supplement called the Desire Vitamin Series, which is basically like a one-a-day, a high-quality food sourced for the most part, supplement, a vitamin mineral complex, because you also need boron, you need zinc, you need magnesium, you need vitamin D, you need vitamin C. You need a lot of things to produce your hormones. And our foods and our soils are very nitrogen depleted, but they're also depleted in many ways that we're just not getting things from the foods that we eat. That's not how it was
before. It's not natural anymore. Our soil is depleted, everything. So we need to, unfortunately, supplement. Ideally, that wouldn't be the case if everything was fine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what I do is I have a publishing company and I write passionate love-making techniques and bedroom communication skills
Yes.
and intimate wellness information. I've got quite a large following on my newsletter. I have over 300,000 readers. I've been doing
Amazing.
it for decades, and some of the people that get my newsletter have been with me for 20 years. Not
Wow.
very many, but it's really sweet to know that there are so many people that have learned so much over time. So I like
love
to
that.
teach people how to have heart-connected, passionate lovemaking, which includes
Yes.
keeping your body working. It's kind of like techniques, communication skills, and wellness, intimate wellness. That's what I
Yes.
do. And
I
then
love that.
I am the spokesperson for GAINSWave, and it's
Susan
really
is giving us the whole list of things, and there's so much that you do. I love it. I love because you're such an expert in so many different things, but ultimately all related to sexual
Pleasure.
wellness, function, pleasure, but health, because it's all connected to
It
health.
is health. Yeah.
Like this is health, but an overlooked health sometimes. People don't consider it that much.
I call it the fourth factor.
Yes.
A lot of people talk about longevity, and they talk about sleep, nutrition, exercise and movement, but they omit intimacy. And intimacy is right up there with the other three.
Yes.
Because having intimate pleasure is your whole life long, makes you live a longer, healthier, happier life.
Yeah.
And I spend a lot of time going on to longevity shows and wellness shows and pop culture. And interestingly enough, I go on a lot of like mindset, growth, entrepreneur, super achiever types of podcasts. And I do that because they want to hear about how intimacy is beneficial for them as super achievers. Yep. And that the sex, when they have good sex, it actually helps them accomplish everything else they want to accomplish. Like if I didn't get up and run those beach stairs and lift those weights and go for that swim today, I wouldn't have the energy to do everything that I have to do today. Those are the things, including my great sex, that help me have the energy to accomplish everything I want.
Yeah.
My brain is just absolutely cranking in my 60s because I have the wisdom of everything that I've learned, and I still have the energy of someone 20 or 30 years younger than myself.
So you're in your prime time, Susan. You're in your prime time.
I feel
right
like
now.
it.
Yes. Yeah. Susan, I want to ask you how you started, because you have so much knowledge, as you say, and you have so much experience. And I mean, this has to come from somewhere. Has it always been like that? Or what primed you to actually dive deep into this topic, which is not something everyone is comfortable talking about, first of all, but also experiencing, living. There's so much behind this topic that it's interesting to see how you started and how you're comfortable spreading the word about it.
One of the phrases that I love is, your greatest wound becomes your greatest gift. And I've been married to my beautiful husband, Tim Bratton, for 34 years now. And we met in our early 30s, and by our early 40s, I was avoiding him for sex. I had never had an orgasm from intercourse. I really wasn't getting pleasure from it. I'd been a dutiful wife, and I just didn't want to do it anymore. And it was really ruining our marriage. He was very unhappy. He felt very bad. I felt very guilty. And so we decided, like any kind of growth mindset couple would do, to try to fix the problem. So we went to marriage therapists. We went to sex workshops. We read a lot of books. We did a lot of personal development. And the three or four big things that really helped us were learning how to communicate about our sexuality. We read a book at the time called Radical Honesty by a friend of ours, Bratton. And we decided that we had everything to lose and that we would just tell each other the truth. And that is a skill you have to learn because our culture teaches us to lie, to walk on eggshells, to withhold, to stuff
as a
our
woman
feelings.
even more.
We're very avoidant, conflict avoidant. And you can't make much progress if you can't talk about what's going on. So we did that. We took sex workshops and we learned orgasm techniques and learned how easy it is if someone just tells you what to do, because we have a human operating system. If you give it the right inputs, you get the right outputs. And so we realized, sex isn't hard. We just didn't know what we were doing.
Because nobody teaches about it.
Nobody teaches about it. We're very censored. Podcasts are really the only uncensored medium. Every place else, I'm shadow banned. I'm blocked. I can't advertise. I can't advertise my passionate lovemaking techniques. It's like I'm lumped in with pornography when I'm teaching heart-connected lovemaking. So we just realized, and we learned yoni massage. Yoni massage was very helpful because the female and male bodies are built the same. We have the same genital parts. They're just slightly different configurations, but women have as much erectile tissue in our vulvovaginal system as our male body partners do. Yet nobody talks about female erection, female erectile function, female atrophy, loss of sensation. All we talk about is loss of lubrication because it's the vagina, but the whole vulva is what's important. If you can't feel the pleasure because you're atrophied, you're not going to have good sex, which is what I love about GAINSWave. And ultimately what happened was I found out about GAINSWave. And I absolutely fell in love with the treatment because I had been doing some laser and RF vaginal rejuvenation, and it was crap, Micol. It was like the laser, they would stick it up in my vagina and they would burn the tissue in my vagina, which would wound it, and it would be weeping and painful. I would get herpes outbreaks from the trauma. It was miserable. And my vagina maybe got a little more lubricated for a short amount of time, but it was not worth the pain. And the RF devices were exactly the same. And I was like, why do we have this thing that's all about fixing the vagina, but not fixing the vulval laxity, the clitoral atrophy,
and extremely invasive as well.
Extremely invasive and painful. They go, it's just just come in. It's an outpatient thing. You can do it on your lunchtime. Yeah, you can do it on my lunchtime. And then I'm in pain for weeks afterward, and I got to do a few of them. It's ridiculous. And so when I found GAINSWave, I was like, oh my God, I need to tell everybody about this. And I went to meet Mark White, and I said, and it was funny because I did a tour. I said to my husband, I want to become a spokesperson for this brand. I want to be able to tell everybody about this. This is such a good acoustic wave, takes care of the whole urogenital system of the male and female body. It is light years ahead. It is painless, especially these days with new OmniWave device. That's fantastic with the variable depth that you can assign it to. And I went to Mark and I said, I would love to be a spokesperson for your company. I want you to kind of like bring me in, teach me everything. I want to be able to just tell everyone about it all the time, but I need you to keep me up to date on everything. I really want to understand it deeply. I want to see all the research. I want to know the doctors. Use me where you can because I love it. Because he was like, well, what what is a spokesperson? And I was like, I don't 100% know, but I know you and I can figure it out.
Yes.
And
that's why you're our special guest today. Because, by the way, to all our listeners, I didn't prompt Susan to talk about GAINSWave. Normally, like, we kind of keep it out, but you are so passionate about it. And that's why we love you as our spokesperson. Is because, first of all, it's true. And then you talk about it to your clients. You talk about it in general because there's so much benefit that people can get, except nobody knows and nobody touches upon all of these topics that we're covering today. So we love you for that, and we love you on our Vitality Lounge here today.
Yeah, so it's been a real joy to, I mean, who doesn't want to be aligned with a product that gives everybody that does it satisfaction and a new sexual life back? I mean, I'm the hero being associated with GAINSWave because I can tell people, don't get laser, don't get RF. It's not going to get you where you need to go. And when you tell people that, it makes sense to them. And so many people have good sex lives with their partners. And then they run into erectile dysfunction for him, loss of all the things we talked about for her. And so I feel like GAINSWave is one of those things that couples, when they learn about it, and people trust me.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not getting rich doing this, but I'm passionate about it.
Yes.
You have to be passionate if you're in the passionate lovemaking space, because we are always censored. We're shadow banned. People are afraid to talk about sexuality, but I'm so used to teaching people actually oral pleasuring, kissing, yoni massage, intercourse, how to ask for what you want, how to know what you want, ask for it, how to have your partner love you asking for it, plus all of the kind of biohacking and regenerative stuff that I'm
Susan,
so used to talking about difficult things, that this one's easy. Talking about GAINSWave is easy because it's health. That's another thing. You can enter into a conversation about sex by going through the health door. And people are willing to hear about health in a way where it was like, well, would you like me to come and teach you how to have orgasmic intercourse? Oh my God, no, that would not be that would be too much. Would you like me to come in and talk to you about sexual regenerative therapies and biohacking for lifelong pleasure? Okay, you could do that, and so it's not so scary. So GAINSWave in a lot of ways is a Trojan horse for me. It gets my foot in the door. And I speak on stage all throughout the year. And I also speak on probably 100 podcasts a year because I'm a talker. I like to teach. I'm a teacher and I'm a talker. And I like to explain things to people. And I feel like I make lives so much better than almost anything anybody's talking about. Because when you can extend your sex span, you extend your health span. You live. We're talking about vitality. I'm on a show about vitality. What makes you are. What puts a bounce in your step? Orgasms, hugs, loving, squeezing, being close, all of the benefits of great sex.
Susan, actually, I want to point on to that because you mentioned like kissing techniques, hugging. It's not just about sex intercourse. Like there's so many aspects of it. And I think people also have the mindset of, well, sex is just intercourse, which it's not. Intimacy is so much more important than the act itself. Ultimately, there's so much that builds up towards it. So what are, I guess, if someone comes to you and asks, like, I need help, where do you start from? Like, what is the first step that you would say, okay, let's see where to start. This is what you should do. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, sexuality is such a vast landscape that people come into it from every part of the spectrum. And I don't meet with people one-on-one. I'm not a therapist, and I'm not a fixer. I'm a plus up. I'm an inspirational voice in sexuality, because there's lots of people who do female embodiment or male multiple orgasm, or they do, fixing premature ejaculation, or they do, how to talk to your partner, or things like that. But very, very, very few people are teaching actual pleasuring skills, oral intercourse, kissing, full body touch, etc. And that's my area of expertise, but I publish content. So I have the newsletter, I have my online programs, I've got my Substack blogs, I've got both a longevity blog, general longevity blog, and I have a Better Lover Substack blog. And I think the things that people come to me are so wild and random. Like, let me think about some things.
Tell me like a deep one and then a fun one.
Well, one woman who emails me all the time, I'm like her sex confidant, and she's been with me for many, many years. She was recently and she's single, but she really wants to have a lover, but she solo pleasures a lot. Okay. And so she's always asking me about sex toys and which ones I like and which ones she should get next. And she has taught herself to have so many orgasms. And the latest one she said was, is there a shower nozzle that can give me orgasms? I want to have orgasms in the shower. And I said, there actually is.
There you go.
There is. It's like a collaboration with the Wow Tech brand and the Hans Grohe brand. Hans Grohe is a German plumbing fixture company. They made a shower nozzle that gives you orgasms in the shower. I have it. I use it. I give myself an orgasm in the shower. Why not? Might as well have as many orgasms as you can. Because orgasms, they reboot your nervous system. They're a vascular event, so they're good for your heart health. They release a cascade of neurotransmitters, serotonin, dopamine. They generate oxytocin. They create NK cells, which eat all your zombie cells and take care of senescent cells. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on and on about why orgasmic intimacy is so good for you. It is the fourth factor for extending your health span.
Is it the same for men and women?
Yeah. What is the same?
Having multiple orgasms, like, is it beneficial in the same ways for both sexes, or should it be different for a man or a woman?
It is exactly the same. And what's interesting is that one of my areas of expertise is human orgasm. One of my mentors, and I carry her lineage on the expanded orgasm practice, which is a clitoral stroking technique that allows a woman to go into the moment of climax and then extend the moment of climax, not a peak and then fall off a cliff. It's like you get to the peak and you stay in the peak and you learn how to hold sensation, so you come for a really long time. And it requires a very simple clitoral stroking technique to achieve this. And what I have found is that people, when Patty taught me that, she was a PhD in human orgasm. And she taught me
Isn't that an interesting, it's like PhD in human orgasm? Like, that's the best title you could have. That's amazing.
Think so. And she taught me so much about human orgasm. And then over the years, I just kept incrementing my knowledge and teaching myself to have all the different kinds of orgasms I could. There are over 20 kinds of orgasms. The 20th is what I call wild card, because there's always more orgasms. There's a lot of ways to elicit orgasmic pleasure. One category of them is locations to touch. Touch the clitoris, touch the penis, touch your nipples, that kind of thing. Then there's techniques like the expanded orgasm practice, erotic hypnosis, where I could make you come on command by putting you in a hypnotic state, touchless orgasm, right? There's female ejaculation, which is definitely a technique-driven process, much different than what you see on pornography. And so there's those. And then there are objects of desire, which include pleasure tools.
Yep.
And I really recommend a lot of pleasure tools because they activate the genital tissue. So there are nerve endings, like Ruffini nerve endings. There are corpuscles. There are mechanoreceptors. There are lots of pressure-sensitive receptors in your cells of your genital that are both shallow and deep. There are receptors that feel stretch, not just pressure. So, like, for example, one of the things that's really pleasurable about intercourse is that the opening to the vagina, which is called the introital sphincter, it's a round muscle. It's generally pretty closed, and as you get turned on, it opens and relaxes. But what it likes is a penis or a tool that goes into that round muscle and stretches it a little bit, and that feels good. So a nice, firm, veiny, hard, confident penis that's had lots of GAINSWave treatments, when it slides in and it's so healthy and vital and just alive.
Yes.
That's one of the things that GAINSWave creates for men and women, is it enlivens the genitals with sexual vitality. It's not just giving you more blood flow, increasing vascularization, knocking the plaque off the tissues so you can hold the blood in faster and longer, expanding the blood carrying capacity, like all of the kind of like technical benefits of GAINSWave. Those are actually not even the good part. That's function.
There you go.
I'm talking about feeling. When you get out of the shower and you catch a glimpse of your penis and you look at it and you're like, it looks good. It's like, I like to call it.
That already is something. Like, that already turns someone on. It looks good. I'm ready to go,
It looks good. I call it a manaconda. It's like, it's this alive, strong, like, it's got that good energy. It's ready to slide in and, do all its kinds of things. And then I teach a lot of orgasmic intercourse techniques. Like, one of the techniques that I teach is called the heart-tongue method. For a lot of men, their penis and their heart are not connected. They're using their penis because they watch porn. They're using it as like a battering ram, like a piston, like a pump. And they think
we've all had that experience.
Oh, we all have. And they think that like the vagina is an inside-out penis. So it's just a canal. We even call it the birth canal, which sounds like an inside-out tube. So a lot of men, when they're having sex, making love, having intercourse, they really haven't learned how to connect their heart to their penis. But when they get the regenerative therapy of things like GAINSWave, and also using a vacuum erection device, a penis pump. That's the other company that I speak on behalf of, is the Dr. Joel Kaplan company. They have the Whopper with the 2 cylinders, one for length and one for girth. And when you combine nitric oxide supplementation, you make sure you're getting a good multivitamin to produce your testosterone. You get your testosterone checked. You look at things like stem cells, exosomes, PRP as kind of like an accelerator for healing the tissue. Yep. All of a sudden, you've got this very alive member. And now he can suddenly feel the vitality again. And now he's mature enough to be able to connect his penis to his heart. And when he enters his person, he is able to pull the love down through his body and into his manhood and fill his lover with that love. So it moves men. The combination of these love-making techniques with GAINSWave, penis pumping, nitric oxide, and then if you want and can afford it, I always like to do budget, mid-range, luxury. Where's your price point? Luxury, you can do stem cells, PRP, exosomes, etc. We're making such progress in the arena of stem cells and their components, which include exosomes and PRP and things like that. And when he's able to have this experience of complete regeneration back to feeling like he's a 20-year-old again, he's got his testosterone dialed in. He's got his penis working really well. He's doing his pumping. He's got a partner. And now he's learning these intercourse techniques. Oh my God. Now that's the guy the girls want to pass around. Well, you should have John because he really knows what he's doing and he's got great equipment. He's fun to have sex with. He's confident. He knows how to pleasure. He's got like 20 different moves he does with his penis inside your vagina. It's just incredible. You've got to ride that ride. Let me give you his, let me do an SMS and introduce the two of you. Women are doing that all the time with the good guys. They're sharing them around, you know. It's not always just keep it to yourself.
I was gonna say they don't want to keep it to themselves. Well,
some do.
Nowadays, maybe some
do. Some don't.
Yeah, you're right.
Because women are becoming much more sovereign.
It is changing. So I guess a little bit of more general insight in this world. How do you see it changing from when you started to now? And what is the most positive outlook that you see happening?
Yeah. I started with men. I started mostly helping men get their wives to want them for sex again. That was what I started with 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. Because I had gone through that experience in my own life, and I knew what my husband and I learned and tried that helped, that allowed me to, I'm not a spontaneous desire person. Dr. Beverly Sasson, she came up with this notion that generally, and everything in sex is on a bell curve, right? So generally men are spontaneous in their desire. They have, if they're healthy, they have good morning wood. When they wake up, if they're healthy, they have good nighttime erections.
Yes.
When they wake up, they have morning wood. They have high testosterone. They have fat, so they're horny. They have fast-acting hemodynamics, which means the blood flows into their penis very quickly, fills it up, and locks it in for a firm erection. Mm-hmm. That's the number one thing GAINSWave fixes is what's called venous leak, which is this idea that you can get the blood in, but you can't keep it in, and so you get bendy. You're pushing a wet noodle. Yeah. And that's not so good because you could break your penis when it's flimsy, when it's not firm and erect.
Nobody wants that.
No. And then you're dealing with, now I have to fix Peyronie's. I've broken my tunica albuginea, and now I've got a bend in my penis, and it's getting worse.
That's a whole different thing, yeah.
You know, all of that, it leads to that. So you want to keep it firm. So I started teaching men seduction with integrity, how women's bodies work, how they're totally different arousal ladders than our male bodies, that we don't run around horny, that we're not oriented toward initiating. And when I say to guys, do you kill the rats, the spiders, and the snakes at your house? Of course I do. My wife would never. My wife's on the couch standing screaming until you come get that rat or that mouse or that spider or what have you. Do you take out the trash? Oh yeah, that's my job. I take that out every week without fail. I've been taking that out for 25 years for my wife. She's never had to ask me once. I pride myself on managing all of that. I got that. And I'm like, okay, what if your other job was initiating sex? And what if sex isn't just intercourse, but you start to learn some new skills? You learn how to hold her, hug her, relax her, tell her how much you love her. You love to give her breast massages, yoni massages. You can have her lie back on bed and you can go down on her and you can put her in orgasm the entire time you're giving her oral pleasure. Would you like that? Yes, that's what I want. So, and then when you make love to her, when you have intercourse with her, and she's screaming in your ear so loud, she goes, honey, am I going to break your eardrum? Are you okay? And you go, no, baby, you are just fine. You just keep on going. You just ride me till you're so tired, because I can last as long as you want. And then when we're done, I'll pat you off and I'll hold you and I'll tell you what a good girl you are. Or whatever you like, right?
Whatever. Yeah, everyone has their own.
Everyone has their own, but that's a general winning combination.
That is true.
Yeah. No, very few women would turn that down. And when she knows that when you guys hit the bed, there's no expectation, because she feels performance anxiety too. Mm. And when you've made her offers in the right way, that's not, hey, babe, do you want to have sex? Because she's going to be a no to that, because she's not spontaneous in her desire. Yes. She's responsive. Now you know, I'm responsive. I've got to do some things. What do I do? Okay, those are the things I do. Okay, I'll do that. And then she'll have sex and it'll be great. And the next time I ask her, hey, babe, do you want to get a yoni massage? Do you want to lie down together? Do you want to just tell me about your day and I'll hold you and we'll see where it goes? And she's like, yeah, I could do that right after dinner at 7:00. Okay, that sounds great. Let's do that. And you know, together you'll do the heavy lifting to get her up that big, giant arousal ladder, because his arousal ladder is like an escalator. He just gets on and woo, he's ready to go if he's healthy and everything works.
Yes.
But when she gets on, there's no escalator for her in the beginning generally. And I'm talking about with long-term pair bonded people. I'm not talking about Manaconda Man that your girlfriend just sent you that's super hot and it's your one shot and you've seen 25 pictures of him and you're super turned on. That's aberration.
That's a different story.
That's not every day. And
Correct.
So, yeah, of course we have those moments. If we're lucky, we have those moments in our life, but that's not what long-term monogamous sex that's on what I call the upward pleasure spiral, where sex keeps getting better your whole life long. That comes from helping her get on the arousal ladder, one foot, the next foot. And then literally the next rung is so high that as the man, you're underneath her, hoisting her butt to the next rung. But then as you do that a couple times, you got the next one, baby. You've got it. Here you go. How does that feel? That's good, babe. I want that. That's good. And then pretty soon she's like little steps, and now the steps are easier. And then at the top, there's an escalator.
Yeah.
But it's at the top for her, and she's got to you got to help her get up. And
but then she'll also be
that.
coming, after a while that you work that, she'll also come asking for more.
Yes.
And she might be the one initiating at a certain point because she knows what is coming and it's all real good.
And it doesn't stress her out that she's not ready. She knows you can get there together.
Yeah.
Because you don't have this expectation that she's going to just turn into this nympho for you. It's just like not going to happen. I mean, some women, yes. I'm always talking big bell curve.
Yes. Susan, piece of advice per sex and couple. Let's say, what would be let's say like 40s, she was probably married, in the same position that you were before, a man, and for a couple that is trying to reignite intimacy. If there was one thing that you would tell them, what would it be that they can take away?
I'd say the number one thing would be sex life bucket list. Well, it would be understanding the idea of having to do some heavy lifting. That's normal. There's nothing wrong with her, that she's not broken. The second would be this idea that all the pleasure is learned skills and you've got to practice. It's mastery. Anybody can make a baby, but good lovers are created through learning and experience. So that brings me to what I would recommend. And that's something that I call my sex life bucket list. What's interesting about the sex life bucket list is that one of my mentors is Dossie Easton. And she wrote a book called The Ethical Slut. And I was in a workshop with her one day, and she said this simple little thing. She said, hot sex that keeps getting better is this equation. It's a 1 + 1 = 2. It's very simple. You have trust and safety. You have to be with someone that makes you feel safe and cared for and desired, and that you can ask what you need and they'll be fine with it. But you have to have novelty and variety. You have to do new things together. And women especially need a lot of novelty and variety. Generally on the bell curve, women skew higher need state for variety of sexuality experiences than men do. Men will tend to, and this is only a bell curve, men will tend to be happy just to have intercourse frequently with a blowjob whenever they can get it.
Yeah.
And if they got that, they'd think they had if they had frequent sex with some oral pleasuring, they would feel like they had a 10 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10. They'd have some fantasies. They wish there were a few more things they'd like to try. Maybe they want her in lingerie. They want to try anal, all those kinds of things.
Yeah.
But generally, it is this idea that if you have scheduled play dates, erotic play dates, a lot of sexperts will tell you just schedule sex. But when you don't understand the heavy lifting, when you're doing the same old thing over and over, women are going to avoid that. They're going to be like, more of the old in and out, I'll pass.
Of course.
Not interested.
Not interested.
I feel like I'm being used.
Done that.
Don't
want that.
Exactly. Yeah. But when you say, would you like to try that new sacred squirting sex toy? Would you like to do a lingerie photo shoot? Would you like to try a new position on the dining room table, in the sauna, out in our backyard in the sunshine? Would you like me to do oral pleasuring of you where I try 7 new techniques on you and you rate them? Sure, I would like to try that. Would you like to try some breast pleasuring or yoni massage? Yeah. Would you like me to find your G-spot for you? Yeah. Would you like me to do some de-armoring? Would you like to try female ejaculation? Would you like to have an expanded orgasm practice? Would you like when he's making offers? And she says, well, these are the things that are interesting to me that I'd like to try. Then you're scheduling an erotic play date to try a new thing. And when you get there, you're not expecting to jump into it. You know how to onboard her up her arousal ladder. So the new thing isn't where you start. You start with the getting her fully engorged, getting all the erectile tissue that's in your penis as the same amount that's in her vulva, and getting it engorged, which takes about 20 minutes. For him, 2 minutes. For her, 20. So when you have these basic fundamental principles, and then you offer these new and exciting adventures, you've got a really good system going. And so instead of just learning techniques, I think the Sex Life Bucket List, which is at sexlifebucketlist.com, sexlifebucketlist.com, I give you a downloadable PDF with the 48 play dates, and I give you a free video. It's all free. I give you a free video. And that video, I walk you through all the play dates. So you sit with your partner in bed. You've got, your 2 PDFs printed out. You've got pens. You've cracked open your laptop. You're snuggled together. Your first erotic play date is to watch the 40-minute video where I walk you through them all. And you're like, oh my God, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yes.
And then you write them all down and you mark them an A, a B, or a C. A is, this is definitely going on my sex life bucket list. B is, it's not for me, but if you wanted to do it, I'm game, babe. I would give it a try. And C's are, it's not for me right now. This wouldn't go on my bucket list.
Yep.
You take your A's, you merge them together. Now you got something to look forward to. You get it on the calendar and you give it a try, knowing that it takes 3 times before you start to get your legs under you. And so the first couple times, you're beginning as beginners. You've got your beginner's
It's like everything,
mind. You're
right?
having
You can't
new
just be good at it
relationship
immediately. You can't just be good at it immediately. You have to try. And maybe you don't like it at the beginning, but try it a second time.
Yeah.
Try it a third, and then you might, okay, not my thing, or it's getting better.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes. Amazing. I love that. I love that because I think we all need guidance. We are taught so many things in school. A lot of them are not useful, and a lot of them can't be applied to life. And sex is one of the, the most natural things, but we're just not taught about it. It's not talked, it's not taught, and it's just such a taboo. And it's getting better, I feel. But we need to learn. Like every other thing in life, we need to learn and get better. Susan, I could be here talking to you for hours and learning about everything that you do, because we just tapped into like an intro call. Like this wasn't even like, this is an intro podcast episode. There are so many other things that we need to tap into. We should tap into all of your expert things, we should have one episode just on orgasms, another episode on kissing, we should totally do that. And
I think male orgasm is as interesting as female orgasm.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of men are starting to wake up to prostate. That's one of the things that I like about GAINSWave as well, is that it stimulates the prostate tissue. And I think it's very, very important. I'm really teaching a lot of men about using a prostate massage tool for awakening that tissue, enervating it, bringing blood flow into it, oxygenating it, massaging it, manipulating it, and activating it so that they can have P-spot orgasms or blended penile and P-spot orgasms. And I like it when they get their wives involved. And a lot of wives are very open to having their partners use a prostate massage tool during lovemaking or just while you're watching TV, because women don't want their husbands to get prostate cancer. And the more that you bring blood flow to any part of your body, the more you're oxygenating and bringing the healing and growth factors that do the reparations. And so even that is just an interesting area of expertise.
I love that.
Thank you for having me.
Everything that you said. Susan, if people want to find you, you did mention some links. Where can they find you, and where can they find everything that you do? In one link mainly.
BetterLover.com. That's my newsletter. It goes out twice a week, and I teach all kinds of things like what I've been teaching. I send out a newsletter with hot sex techniques and intimate wellness and communication skills. BetterLover.com.
Great. BetterLover.com. Everyone who wants to know more and spice up their sex life, or just, have a little more fun, go find Susan, because she knows it all.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, Susan. It was great having you. Thank you.
Bye.
You've been listening to The Vitality Lounge with Micol, powered by GAINSWave. Make sure to subscribe to The Vitality Lounge wherever you get your podcasts. GAINSWave is a clinically proven therapy that allows you to embrace vitality both in the bedroom and in your life. Whether to improve and boost performance, pleasure, and confidence, head on over to GAINSWave.com. Thanks for listening.